Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Continuing on with Your Faith is Your Fortune, this chapter is called Prayer, and it is quite another amazing chapter getting into the consciousness and how we need to shift consciousness and how really consciousness is the game when it comes to manifestations. He gets into the whole receptive impression and then kind of generating, and he does it with another analogy this time, kind of more around the idea of marriage, matrimony, and creating a baby from that standpoint, or giving birth to your dream, right? Your fruition. One of the things that I kind of thought about, and I think it's really good to start out, I want this to be on the tip of the brain while we're reading this, but are we seeking something or are we the creator? And I'm asking you where you feel like you're at on that. I will say the proper answer really should be that you're the creator. When we realize that we're the creator of our own realities, when we realize that we are creating what we're experiencing, when we realize that our dreams are supposed to come true or allowed to come true, and it's good if it does, and it's up to us to create that. It's not something that happens outside of us, it's something that happens inside of us. So being the creator, you have to assume the consciousness of the thing that you would like to do or be or have. Now, one of the key things, it's kind of, I guess if you're in the sense of, maybe if you want to be wealthy, right? Like I am wealthy, like just being able to feel that I am wealthy, but then on top of that, it's thinking about what larger life would you have? Like, what's the new house you're living in? What's the new car you're driving? Like, being wealthy isn't just having dollars in your hands. Being wealthy is having a lot of things, right? It's not just that dollars in your hand. And so many of us look at the dollars in our hands almost like we're seeking dollars rather than consciously being abundant or consciously being wealthy or consciously being of that higher echelon thinking about the world, about what you're going to put your money into, what kind of side businesses you'll do, what you'll invest in. There's a whole slew of things that come with being wealthy. But so many of us look at it from the standpoint of just having some dollars in our hands. Or a relationship, we seek a person, not realizing that the marriage or the evolution of this relationship between me and this individual that I love is a consciousness bridge. It's a consciousness evolution between the two of us. It's a growth. It is something that's love, yes, but it's also this lifestyle. It's also decisions we make together. It's maybe having children. Maybe it's just going on multiple dates. Maybe you're just trying to get a text message. But it's assuming that feeling of of course they're going to text me. Of course they are. I'm a great person. I am love. I am attractive. I am amazing. Right? Like when we finally realize that we are these things consciously, when we realize we are already that which we seek. Again, are you seeking or are you creating? When we realize we are and have essentially that which we seek already, then it becomes so. And it's not the other way around. That's one of the keys to how manifesting works. Goddard's got this nailed out in a beautiful way. A couple great shows I want to plug too that I've done, and I've got links below. Mirror technique, great way to shift consciousness on the fly. Looking at yourself in the mirror and doing some serious, like I am this, I am that. And I kind of talk about a couple different ways you can pick the proper I am statements for yourself. And also we've got the interval of time that I've done recently, which really helps with the idea of not having it instantly. And I think that's the other thing that so many people have a hard time with is the concept of waiting. And it's not really waiting, you're impregnated, so you're pregnant now. I'm not waiting for the baby to be born, though I bet when you're, month 8, you're like, I can't wait to have this baby come out into the world and get out of my body, right? Like, but it's you can't speed that up. You don't want to per se. It's part of the process. So chapter 17, Your Faith is Your Fortune. By the way, one of the best books. Consciousness is key. If you want to start on a good one, it's deep, it's heavy, and there's 3 weird chapters, but it's an amazing book. So we started off with Matthew chapter 6, verse 6. When thou prayest, enter in thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Also from Mark chapter 11, verse 24, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Prayer is the most wonderful experience man can have. Unlike the daily murmurings of the vast majority of mankind in all lands, who by their vain repetitions hope to gain the ear of God, prayer is the ecstasy of spiritual wedding taking place in the deep, silent stillness of consciousness. In its true sense, prayer is God's marriage ceremony. Just as a maid on her wedding day relinquishes the name of her family to assume the name of her husband, in like manner, one who prays must relinquish his present name or nature and assume the nature of that which he prays. So again, you have to give up your current life and assume the new life. You can't keep reverting back to your current life. You can't keep, I've said, putting on the old shoes, like trying on new shoes, right? And they're uncomfortable at first, and then I'm like, I don't want them. They're uncomfortable, and put on the old ones. But it's like you just got to break them in. You got to get used to them. And it's that same concept. The Gospels have clearly instructed man as to the performance of this ceremony in the following manner. When ye pray, go within in secret, and shut the door, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. The going within is the entering of the bridal chamber. Just as no one but the bride and groom are permitted to enter so holy a room as the bridal suite on the night of the marriage ceremony, likewise, no one but the one who prays and that for which he prays are permitted to enter the holy hour of prayer. As the bride and groom, on entering the bridal suite, securely shut the door against the outside world, so too must the one who enters the holy hour of prayer close the door of the senses and entirely shut out the world around them. So essentially, you're talking about going within, thinking and imagining this reality that you'd like, this person you love, this more income, this whatever, new house. You're imagining this reality. You have to shut out your current reality. You have to accept the fact that right now is changing, and that's what you're doing. You're altering right now. So who cares about right now? Let's go into this special place. Let's close the door. Let's close the world outside of us. And as he says so too, to do so in secret. And thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. The secret part is like, don't tell anyone else either, right? This is between you and God, or you and yourself, or you and whoever you're manifesting with. So it's very powerful when we realize that that's all this is. You're creating your life. You're coming up with your consciousness. You're feeling the thing that you want to be and have. And when you do that, you impress that upon your subconscious. You make it happen. You make it so. And it's just a process. It's natural. It's the way it's supposed to be. It's the way it's always been. But a lot of us make it difficult. A lot of us think we're seeking something, right? Because if I have it already, would I be looking for it? So it's a challenge mind game for some of us, I think, to finally get ourselves into that proper mindset, or that proper consciousness, really. This is accomplished by taking the attention completely away from all things other than that which you are now in love, or the thing desired, right? The second phase of this spiritual ceremony is defined in these words. When ye pray, believe that ye receive, and ye shall receive. As you joyfully contemplate being and possessing that which you desire to be and to have, you have taken this second step and are therefore spiritually performing the acts of marriage and generation. Your receptive attitude of mind while praying or contemplating can be likened to a bride or womb, for it is the aspect of mind which receives the impressions. That which you contemplate being is the groom, for it is the name or nature you assume, and therefore is that which leaves its impregnation. So one dies to maidenhood or present nature as one assumes the name and nature of impregnation. Essentially, we're shedding the old and making room for the new. We're getting rid of our old name to get ready to take a new name. Lost in contemplation and having assumed the name of nature of the thing contemplated, your whole being thrills with the joy of being it. It's the important part. Your whole being thrills with the joy of being it. Thrills with the joy of being it. Both of those things are powerful feeling words. Consciousness, feeling it. You are it. This thrill, which runs through your entire body as you appropriate the consciousness of your desire, is the proof that you are both married and impregnated. As you return from this silent meditation, the door is once more opened upon the world that you have left behind. But this time, you returned as a pregnant bride. You enter the world a changed being, and although no one but you knows of this wonderful romance, the world will, in a very short while, see the signs of your pregnancy, for you will begin to express that which you in your hour of silence felt yourself to be. The mother of the world, or bride of the Lord, is purposely called Mary, or water, for water loses its identity as it assumes the nature of that with which it is mixed. Likewise, Mary, the receptive attitude of mind, must lose its identity as it assumes the nature of the thing desired. Only as one is willing to give up the present limitations and identity can he become that which he desires to be. Prayer is the formula by which such divorces and marriages are accomplished. Two shall agree as touching anything, and it shall be established on earth. The two agreeing are you, the bride, and the thing desired, the groom. As this agreement is accomplished, a son bearing witness of this union will be born. You begin to express and possess that which you are conscious of being. Praying, then, is recognizing yourself to be that which you desire to be, rather than begging God for that which you desire. One of the biggest keys to where prayer has sort of been misguided. How many people ask God for things? When in the reality is God's already granted us through his I amness within us, he's already granted us the ability to basically be gods of our own domain. We create our own worlds. I'm not necessarily the God of the universe. I'm not saying I'm bigger than him. I'm saying I'm a small version of him. And in so being, I am the master of my domain. And the way you master your domain is by becoming that thing that you want to be. So again, praying is not asking or seeking. Praying is being. It's meditating. It's getting yourself to that place where you are experiencing and feeling it. You are impregnating yourself with this holy union between you and this reality that you wish to have. This reality that you already are. That's the key. So millions of prayers are daily unanswered because man prays to a God who does not exist. And what he means is this figment of outside thing that's supposed to change things after the effect, when God's already taught us through a number of different ways that seek within and the outside changes afterwards. Consciousness being God, one must seek in consciousness for the thing desired by assuming the consciousness of the quality desired. Only as one does this will his prayers be answered. To be conscious of being poor while praying for riches is to be rewarded with that which you are conscious of being, namely poverty. Prayers, to be successful, must be claimed and appropriated. Assume the positive consciousness of the thing desired. This is another big key point where a lot of us are trying to manifest money because we keep realizing, I need money. I don't have enough money. I got to pay a bill. Like our focus is always on these, I got to pay bills. I got to do all this, right? But instead of focusing on the like my career path, or focusing on something I'm really interested in that's going to help me generate wealth, or focusing on winning lotto numbers or whatever. The fact is focusing on a better house, a better life, and assuming that consciousness, having the money already, rather than having that poverty money complex where like, I want dollars in my hands because of all this over here. When you are the dollars in your hands, you are the wealth, you are the abundance, you want to create a flow of wealth. And a lot of us block it. You've got to be the consciousness. You've got to be the flow. You've got to be wealth. You've got to be love. Of course, yes, easier said than done, but that is the key. Goddard's just beating us up with it in this book. With your desire defined, quietly go within and shut the door behind you. Lose yourself in your desire. Feel yourself to be one with it. Remain in this fixation until you have absorbed the life and name by claiming and feeling yourself to be and have that which you desired. When you emerge from the hour of prayer, you must do so conscious of being and possessing that which you heretofore desired. First off, just kudos for using heretofore. Great use of word. But that is the key, that last sentence. Become the thing. Become absorbed with it. Become so fixated on it. Become so involved with this thing you desire to experience that you feel it, you be it, you are it. And when you're doing that, you will start to notice things in your outer world. It makes the journey fun because it's all about what's going on inside of me. And then I'm going to get a snapshot outside of me, and it's going to give me an indication what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. And then you adjust. But be the consciousness, be the wealth, be the love. And when you come at it from that standpoint, you impregnate yourself with this new reality. And when you do that, it has only one other place to go, and that's into the physical reality. When you don't tell other people, you make it a million, zillion, quadrillion times easier. When you tell people, you make it so much more hard. So much. Don't talk about it. Do it in private, and then let them see the results after, and then they can ask questions. Don't talk about it. It's your ego that wants to talk about it, and your ego will sabotage you every step of the way. So don't talk about it. Make sure you got your doubts under control. I've talked about that in the other videos I've done recently too. The doubts will get you. And so be mindful of those. When you get yourself into the receptive state and you're able to look at the blocks that you're kind of putting aside for the moment, put them aside, but realize those blocks are the things that are probably going to cause the doubts. And you need to realize that there's always a way around an obstruction or a block. If there's a third party, like I've said, they're going to break up. They must. That's how it has to happen. Because you're going to be together. You've prepared the place. You've consciously created the bed that you're going to lie in. Understand that when nighttime comes, you'll be crawling into bed with your dream and your goal, and it will be there. It will be in there with you, like a nice teddy bear or a nice body pillow or good sheets or whatever your bed thing is. Be the thing that you desire, and it will become in your outer world. Dan RadioStyle.